Thank you all for waiting. We were able to work through those technical difficulties. Call this meeting to order at 9:13 a.m. First, I'm going to turn it over to Vern. He's here. Vern Adams, who's here today to give us an invocation. We wish Vern for joining us. We wish Vern. Again, thank you for joining us today. Did you guys already check with Jeff? If you could hear it online? All right, perfect. So Regina, can you take roll call, please?
Carlos Hernandez,
Here.
Tara Geshick,
Here.
Shane Drift,
Oma, no gum.
Janelle Gogolai,
Here.
Robert Moyer.
First off, we have the approval of the agenda, and I do know that we have an addition.
Yes, that'll go under Jeff. It'll be resolution 13-2027.
I'd like to add a discussion under Travis Vake regarding our Boys and Girls Club. It's just a discussion, that's all it is.
All right, I ask for a motion to approve the agenda with the additions of a Boys and Girls Club discussion under Travis Vake.
Move.
And resolution number 1327 or 13-2027. And that's moved by Shane. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Janelle. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Any silent? Motion carried. And next up is the approval of the meeting minutes for June 16th, 2026. Council, please review. First, I'd like to see a correction. I know on the meeting agenda for today, it says June 16th, but on the minutes, it's June 17th. Just make sure that we have the correct date on there. 17th. It was the 17th. The meeting minutes are correct. There's no comments or concerns. I ask for a motion to approve the minutes for June 17th, 2026.
I'll make the motion. There's just one error that needs to be corrected on my last name, down towards the bottom of the minutes. Two up. Needs to be another E after that. So I'll make that motion with the correction.
Copy motion by Janelle to approve the minutes with correction. Do I have a second? Second by Robert. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any silent? Motion carried. All right, next up, we have our introduction of new employees. And if we have any directors here, looks like Simona's going to come up and start it off. How are you doing today, Simona? Not bad. No. It would help just for our online viewers to be able to hear what you're saying. Yes, thank you.
Okay, so I have Alina Steele, who started on Monday as the Human Resources Coordinator. So. Well, she'll be seen. So that's all I have.
Good morning, Melissa Wright here, and I have Maggie Milam. She is our court clerk. And I have Megan Ruzick, who just started Monday as our second probation officer.
Hi, Amanda.
Sorry, of course. I have two people. Riley Kelly, she's the Vermilion patient access representative. And Meredith Tucro, she's the Virginia patient access representative. And we also have Brooke Anderson, she is a dental assistant.
Did you bring some people, Brian?
Good morning. My name is Brian. I have two employees. I have Henry Thompson and Madison Spears for Big Woods Transit.
I didn't catch your first name, Thompson,
Henry Thompson.
Henry?
Yeah.
Nice to meet you. All right, welcome aboard. Thank you for joining us. Next up, on our agenda is the consent agenda. Jalen, would you be able to read the consent agenda, please?
Yeah, we have letter A, resolution number 92-2026, Energy and Mineral Development Program, approved 4-0-0. And then consent agenda B, eventual tenant ownership trust land leases, resolution 93-2026, Cheryl Jensen. Resolution 94-2026, David H. Villebrun Jr. Resolution 95-2026, Elizabeth Deegan. Resolution 96-2026, Aaron Morrison. Resolution 97-2026, Muriel Deegan. Resolution 98-2026, Rhonda Hoagland. Resolution 99-2026, Tara Geshick. Resolution 100-2026, Warren Villebrun, passed with 2 approved, 0 denials, and 1 abstaining.
We wish, Jalen. Ask for a motion to approve the consent agenda as read.
Before we approve them, I would like to say congratulations to the new homeowners. One thing I brought up when we were discussing this over the years, through the years, I should say, and it's good to finally see that this happened for our band members to become homeowners. It took a long time. And when we met upstairs, what I call the war room, where the council meets, and a couple of things I brought up. Number one, any rent that has been paid beyond when the house should have been conveyed originally, beyond, should be paid back to the tenant, to the homeowner. The other thing I brought up, I said, is when we need to do the house inspections before we convey the houses over to the homeowners. And anything that needs to be repaired or fixed needs to be fixed and repaired before it's conveyed. And that's just some things I wanted to bring up and share with you. Miigwech, I make a motion to approve.
I have a discussion item or a statement. It's real small. I was the one who abstained from it because I, am named in here, Tara Geshick. And I abstained from all decisions made. The council knows that. Every bit that was discussed about that project. So to this day, I kind of still don't know exactly what's going on. And I haven't really asked either of you either. So I'm almost in the dark about what's going on. We just had our ceremony last night and signed our paperwork for new homeownership that was really exciting. But how the rest of this plays out, I do not know. I wish I could have all the answers, but I abstained from all discussions. So I'm in the same boat that all the new homeowners are in. And it just needs to be that way for prosperity, for for integrity. So just letting you know that I wasn't in any discussion about this project. And personally, it was overdue 10 years. It should have happened in 2016. Glitch.
Thank you. I know that process has been taking a while and it was long in the making. We do have a motion to approve the consent agenda. Do I have a second?
Second,
Second by Janelle. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Any silent? Motion carried. Next up is the donation committee. They had a denial for a donation request. Ask for a motion to approve the denial for the donation request to Alert Magazine. Moved by
Second.
Robert, second by Tara. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any silent? Motion carried. Next up, we have Melissa Wright. She's here to speak with us about resolution number 1-2027. CTAS Purpose Area 2 Tribal Justice Strategic Plan.
We had Purpose Area 2, which was the Tribal Justice Strategic Plan. We've been working on that ever since I took over as Judicial Director. That plan involved a lot of stakeholder meetings. We met with council at one point, community surveys, lots of in-session meetings with some of the key stakeholders, a part of the planning process. And now we are completed. You do have the copy with that, which is a lot of pages, as you can see, went into putting this together. With this strategic plan, we will submit to the grant BJ, and once approved, we should then be placed at priority funding for CTAS grants in the future. And that has lots of different purpose areas. And so we tried to incorporate our needs based on all the purpose areas. So other, the COPS grant, for example, and things of that nature. One of the biggest goals that we have is a wellness court, is our hopes that we'll get priority funding for that, amongst many other things. So yeah, just need council approval to submit the plan.
Is there any questions or concerns from council? No
I
discussion.
have a couple comments.
Go ahead, Tara.
I know the CTAS grant well. We often competed when I was in DNR or collaborated, I'll say. So I really, commend you on taking on this huge effort. I know how hard it is to get these CTAS grants done and awarded. So I hope this goes through without any hitches. And you get that justice assistance. So I just want to commend you on how all the work that you did. I was often in those meetings, and I'm sorry I missed a couple. Council duties took over, and I couldn't be there at each and every meeting like I promised you. But I just want to say thank you for getting this done. And
It was a big
we
project.
look forward to the progressiveness that the courts have become. Miigwech.
Thank you.
With that, I move to approve.
Second,
Motion by Tara to approve, seconded by Shane. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Any silent? Motion carried. Miigwech for joining us today.
Thank you.
Next up, we have Rhiannon Strong. She's here to speak about onboarding for new staff.
Good morning, everybody. I'm just here to get our onboarding plan approved for new staff. So the plan just outlines the first 90 days of employment with us. We have a lot of training and stuff that we need to do before people can be in the classroom. So we just wanted to lay that out and kind of set it all in stone. So we just need that approved today by our tribal council. Thank you.
Okay, Mona. Any concerns from HR? Move to approve.
Got a motion to approve by Shane. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Janelle. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Any silent? Motion carried. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
Next up, we have Tracey Dagen. She's going to speak with us about Bois Forte tribal government vehicle plates and their fees. Meg Witch for joining us today, Tracey.
Morning. Here are the new plates that have been received, and I'm just asking for approval to use them. The fee would be, if they're already currently plated, it'd be $200. For brand new ones, it'll be $250. They do not expire.
These plates, pretty cool. They look really nice. So I like the original. That's the original seal logo. That's on the, and the one who designed it was, he was, I can't remember what his, Fred McDougall. And how he explained it to me was that when he drew this logo up, he drew it in 4 quadrants because of the number 4 that's sacred to us as Anishinaabe people. And the ducks on there are white, but the reason why they're white is because they represent spirit ducks. And on the other logo, the second logo, the one with the black ducks, as I explained to this council and the other council and also to the people at the state, that's not the original logo. And if you look at that logo, the water and the land are the same. It shouldn't be. Just want to point that out. Thank you.
Some additional context with that explanation too. Fred chose ducks because they're the only animals that live part of their life in the air, in the water, and on land.
That like coots.
The new travel vehicles have a banner across the top that says travel vehicle. And in place of the registration, it says no expiration date.
I have a
And
question.
once they buy them, they can transport them, transfer them,
Okay.
get a new vehicle, transfer that plate.
I do have a question, Tracy. So the cost of it, you said is $200 or $250. What does that money go to? Just the cost to print them out?
Yeah. And we are trying to, eventually, we're going to raise the prices of everyone. Because we are not self-sufficient. We do get quite a bit from the general fund. I found out this year that we are not self-sufficient in our Department of Motor Vehicles. So we are striving towards that. I've been inquiring from other tribes what they are paying. The highest was $200 for a new vehicle. We're at 100. So other ones stagger by each year that they go down. The older the vehicle, we have the same one, but we have 3 tiers. Other residents have each year. And I'm still gathering information on that.
All right. So you want to register your car pretty quick here before the prices go up? No, it's
It
good.
will be coming in January, just like before. So we'll try to present it in like September, get approval, have it start in January.
Tracy, do we, or do you put notices out then to people so that they know the increase will be happening?
That's why we wanted to get approval in September, let the people know in October, November, be
Okay.
ready, December and January will start.
All right, thank you.
I think, once the tribal council gets that agreement with the state regarding band members living off the reservation to be able to get government plates or tribal plates, I think that's gonna increase, revenue for you as well. But also on the flip side, band members won't have to pay that sales tax on the state side if they get band plates. So I'm hoping that the new tribal council that comes on board will continue to pursue that and then get that accomplished within the next year or so. Thank you.
There's no questions or concerns. Ask for a motion to approve the new tribal government vehicle plate fees.
I'll move.
Moved by Janelle. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Shane. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Any silent? Motion carried. Online joining us next is Travis Vake. I'm so sorry, Tracy. Thank you for joining us today. We're thinking about lunch already here. Oh, Travis, I thought you were joining us online, but you have somebody else with us that's.
I do,
online,
yeah.
right? Okay.
Eunice is online, or at least I hope she is.
Travis is here to
Yes,
talk
I'm
to
here.
us about Kaboom Playground contract.
Yes, thank you, Tribal Council, for having me this morning. Very exciting project for us. We have been working on this project for at least a year, working alongside Kaboom to bring a new park to the Vermilion club location. The current park is where the new park will be, so there won't be any additional land needs or anything to that nature. What's very unique and very cool about this project is the only cost to us is the site preparation, which I've made contact with Jim and Brian and Kevin and Robbie. So they are working with us to determine what our crews can do for the site prep and what we would need to contract out. For that, the park itself, Kaboom is donating that, and I'll let Eunice talk about that here in just a second. The other unique piece that I want to point out to you all is on the second page of the contract under design day and build week. So this is a 100% community built playground. And so the way that this works is we'll have a design day where we'll involve the communities, and they can come and provide input on what they'd like to see at the park, designs, colors, all that fun stuff that comes with it. Our kids will also have a discussion in that build or design day as well. So we'll get their thoughts. And then during build week, we basically will be recruiting volunteers to come and help build the playground. And the idea behind that is community pride in the park once it is built, and I've already involved Carol and Vonda and a few other people, since Head Start is over there, early Head Start's over there. And so obviously we want them to be part of the project as well, to build a great new updated playground for the Vermilion location. And with that, I'll turn it over to Eunice if she has any thoughts she'd like to give the tribal council.
Thank you all so much for letting me be a part of the Tribal Council meeting today. Just to give you a little bit of background on what Kaboom is, we are a national nonprofit dedicated to ending place-based inequity for good by partnering with communities to build kid-designed, community-built play spaces. And this opportunity really came through Indigifit Kids, which is a campaign of the Shakopee Mdewakanton Sioux community. They want to build 5 new play spaces in Native communities across Minnesota this year and next year, with the goal being centering community voices and bringing together local partners, families, and volunteers to build a playground that the kids in the community have designed. And what's super excited is it's not just a playground, it's really an opportunity for it to be a reflection of the community, including nature exploration areas, you know, other culturally responsive things that we can put into the space so that everybody feels like they have a space in which they belong. And the hope is to have something built either in September or October, because I know it can get pretty cold where you all are. And we're just hoping that, yeah, that this can happen and we can all work together on it.
Which I'm excited for this. It looks like an excellent opportunity for our kids. It does say it was selected to be on the Vermilion side by the designing partners. And just to give a heads up to the community, they'll be looking for volunteers, 30 on the first day, 10 on day 2, and 50 volunteers on day 3. So hopefully we can get the word out to make sure that we have enough people to pitch in and make sure that they can take pride in one of our community assets that will be coming up in the Vermilion side. I know you might have a design and everything all set to go, but I did want to see if you aren't in that phase yet, to keep in mind possibility of adding a structure for shade. That's something that we don't have on our playgrounds. The kids don't mind running around, but I know it's kind of a stretch to have our staff out in the sun. You know, the kids are running around having fun and they don't mind, but you know, provide
Yeah.
relief for our staff.
Yeah, no, actually, we, the reason you don't have a conceptual drawing in front of you is because we haven't had our design day yet. So that will be coming at some point in July, I believe, is the goal for that.
Is there any questions or concerns regarding the Kaboom playground contract? Council?
I have one. And it's more or less for, I think, Lance Hill or Chris Holm to answer, but is there a need for a land use plan within that? I mean, I know it's the same area, same dimensions and all that, but I just was curious about that.
Sounds good. It have to be something we run by Lance.
I have a question.
He's usually here.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I'm just wondering how, and Simon, I think, stepped out right now, but I'm wondering how the personnel policies talk about, you know, we have to do this and that for employees and volunteers. So I'm wondering what do we need to do to have the volunteers be, I don't know what word I'm looking for, but be able to work there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's a Simona question, I think. She stepped out, so that was the only thing that come to my mind.
Yeah, I do know, and Eunice maybe can talk a little bit about this, but I think the 3 build days are like a Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Is their ideal with the big day being Saturday? So the hope is the community can all come and be part of that, but there probably will come a time where I ask if maybe employees would be allowed to come and help on a Thursday or a Friday, one of the 2 days, just so we have enough hands there.
Simona, I have a question for you. On the volunteers that are needed on this project that Travis is doing for the Boys and Girls Club, is there any requirement that we need to meet as far as the volunteers are concerned? And what I'm looking at is, do they need to do a background check or do they not?
So they'll have to do the volunteer agreement. And then are they going to be around the kids at all? Any contact?
Well, there will be kids can help with the project.
Okay, so then we'll be doing a background investigation also.
Yeah, and we'll start recruiting as soon as this is approved. So we have a list of volunteers and those who employees, I assume, are fine. They don't do they have to go through that whole thing too if they're a current employee?
If they're not adjudicated, yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. I think it's a great project. I just want to make for sure that we're following the rules and regulations that we need to follow. So thank you.
And there was one comment online from Doris Isham. It says, David M. and I originally were working with Indie Lift. I asked for asked that information in their advertisements don't identify things like no lights, no cameras, accessible being listed as it may encourage undesirables.
I don't think that'll be an issue.
Got a question. Travis, who is Kaboom? What is,
Boom is the
Explain it.
501 C3 nonprofit organization that's working alongside the Shakopee Sioux community in partnership.
okay, thank you. Just haven't heard of them. I only know the cereal. No, just kidding. You remember growing up with that old? Yeah. That old cheap cereal? Where am I?
We need a motion. Yes. I just like, let's make a motion. This is very exciting, Travis, and you know, I can't wait to get everybody together on working on what this could totally be, not knowing exactly, you know, just having people be able to get their recommendations and everybody's input in on it is gonna be pretty cool. So yeah, I can't wait. Move to approve.
I'll second.
Motion to approve by Robert, second by Janelle. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any silent? Motion carried. Next up, we have a discussion on the Boys and Girls Club.
I'd like, just really quick, can you put in your notes or your strategic plan or whatever for something similar for Net Lake, that community involvement too? That's all.
Yes, for sure.
Now, regarding the Boys and Girls Club, you know, we've been losing opportunities on funding because of the audits. How many years have we lost out on funding because of the audits?
So with after we came out of COVID, they started to hold the audit deadline, and I think it was in 2022 where we got our first notice that we were overdue on our audits. And then it wasn't until about maybe 6 months ago where we were finally able to convince the Boys and Girls Club of America to give us a waiver for our audit. So currently, right now, we are receiving some pass-through funding. Because we do have that waiver in place. There was deadlines with that waiver. In fact, I think the first deadline just came up, and I know before Kim left, I believe she said it was done and it just needed to be approved by you guys, the next audit. So as long as we get that audit submitted to the Boys and Girls Club of America, we should continue to receive funding until the next deadline, which I believe is December 31st. So I'll have to work with Beth to see what the timeline would be for the next audit. But we lost about 3 years of funding through that process. And obviously, I don't have a total to the cent, but I am pretty confident to say we lost about $500,000.
Is that for the whole 3 years or?
Yeah, total,
Total.
in the whole 3 years.
I'm surprised you only lost that much because we were behind in audits 2018 and 19 also.
Yeah,
Not only 2022.
they were pretty graceful during COVID. It wasn't until about 6 months or so after COVID where they kind of said no more. But yeah, so it was about roughly, I mean, I could maybe come up with a little better figure than that, but that's off the top of my head, roughly about $500,000.
Now, with the funding that we've lost since, I think you said 2022, and it's now 2026, are we able to go back and recoup some of that funding that we've lost? That they're trying not to pay it up front to help keep the boys and clubs open?
So there are a couple of grants where the grants kind of run in a calendar year. So since we got the waiver, we can go back. I think we could go back like 6 months and recoup some of those grant funds, but obviously nowhere near what we ended up not getting. But yes, we can recoup some of it.
So now the money that they're able to recoup, that's gonna have to stay with the Boys and Girls Club, correct? Not come back to the tribe?
Well, it depending on the grant. If it's a pass-through grant, then it typically goes into our what was the 173, which is the general fund Boys and Girls Club account that you guys fund us through. So I guess in a way it goes back to the tribe because it goes into that account.
Okay. That's all I had.
Did anybody else have any comments for the Boys and Girls Club discussion?
I'd just like to add one more thing, if you don't mind. So in addition to we got really fortunate to be chosen by Kaboom for the park, but in addition to that, I have been working with Brian Donaldson, who's the executive director for the Minnesota Alliance of Boys and Girls Clubs, which we are part of. And so we were able to apply for a grant, and we received the grant. It's a little over $43,000. And so because we were lucky enough to partner with Kaboom in Vermilion, whatever is left from that grant after site prep and that is all taken care of, we will be looking at improving the Net Lake Park that's behind the school. So it's a real win-win, so that both club sites get some money up. We don't know what that looks like yet until we get the Vermilion side done, but just know that we are looking at that as well.
And you did mention you're not even in the design phase yet, right?
Correct. Yeah, that should be at some point here in July. We'll have a design day, which hopefully you all can join us over in Vermilion on that day and provide input.
I was just wondering if you had in mind, if you knew that it was, since it's removing the existing playground equipment there and it's going to be replacing it, is it going to be the same footprint or will it expand?
Nope, same footprint is our goal right now.
Okay.
We'll see what design day looks like and what the Kaboom team and the community comes up with. But right now, the same footprint is projected to be used.
Which?
No. Excuse me, question from what you just said, we're applying for that grant. And that's good that you did that. No, but with this grant funding that you're getting in, is it the indirect cost being able to be taken out of that grant?
Yeah.
Is it the same rate as the federal rate or the state rate or lower?
Well, it's a state grant.
So it's basically gonna be the state level. for indirect costs, correct?
I would assume so. Yes, I have to double check the wording on the contract for that, but yeah, I'm assuming it would be the state level because it's a pass through from actually it's a pass through from the Shakopee community. They gave a pot of money to work with Indigifit and the Alliance. And so the tribal organizations who are part of the Alliance were able to apply for that grant. So that's why I need to double check that just to be sure, because it's actually not a state grant. It's just coming from our state alliance. That's the pass-through organization to give us the money.
No, I've been putting this out, this has been on council, is that with these grants and the funding, and that's great that we get them. But when the indirect cost rate is lower than the federal rate, the tribe must absorb the difference. And I keep saying this, is that we need to know what that threshold is before we gotta say we can't do it anymore. Because the tribal government, the tribal council doesn't have bottomless pockets. Just want to point that out. Thank you.
Yeah, no, it's good input. And Jeff always takes a look at our contracts and stuff, so he's in the know on that also.
Thank you for the information you provided to us.
Yeah, you're welcome. Anytime. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Travis. All right, the time is now 10 o'clock. We're going to take a 15-minute break. We will return at 10:15. Which
Right. For my granted.
All right, it's 10:15. Thank you for joining us. As we resume our meeting, next up, we have Jeff Holt. He will be joining us online talking about a few resolutions.
Thank you. Good morning, Council. We've got a series of resolutions regarding authorizations for the tribal government and enterprise bank accounts. I think we can probably group these into maybe 3 categories, and I can talk about them briefly, and then if there's any questions, happy to try to answer them. So the first resolution to 2027 is a resolution that updates the authorized signatories effective July 14th on all of the tribal government bank accounts. So 2027 is limited to the tribal government side specifically, and that's an umbrella resolution that doesn't have to list out accounts specifically or banks specifically, but is just a catch-all for everything, which is workable on the tribal government side. So it's nice that we just had to have one resolution, and that updates account signatories. So any action needed on those accounts that need a signature clarifies that as of July 14th, when the new council is seated, that those signatories are Carlos as chairperson and David Morrison as secretary treasurer. And that's what that resolution does. The following, I believe it's 6 resolutions, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 are all essentially all have the same function in terms of updating signatories on the accounts. They're all for the enterprise side, those 6, and they're all bank specific. So given the banking relationships on the enterprise side, I think there's a need for at least some of them to have bank specific resolutions, and that's why on the enterprise side, they're all split out and you have multiples. So I believe there are 3 related to Park State, a Fortune Bay, a cannabis corporation, and a wilderness related bank account. And then there are 3 additional Fortune Bay accounts at, hopefully I'll get this right, I believe Northern State, Embarrass Vermilion Federal Credit Union, and then B2 Bank, the other banking institutions where there's separate accounts for various functions at Fortune Bay. So that's what I would call sort of the second group of resolutions. And then the third resolution that was added this morning was something that just came up yesterday. And it's mainly Park State Bank related on the tribal government side. That final resolution is not about signatories on the bank account, but is about administrative access, is my understanding. So there are certain beyond being an authorized signer on the accounts, there are certain individuals that have historically on the tribal government side been authorized to just be able to sort of view and have administrative access online to the accounts, maybe for making transfers and other things, but not necessarily, not approved expenditures or things like that, but just sort of the admin work of the online accounts. And in light of Kim's departure, according to Park State, there was a need to update that to make sure that there was tribal government staff that are able to view the accounts and make transfers if needed or things like that. And so based on direction from Miranda yesterday, that final resolution, at least for now, authorizes herself and I believe Beth Cook as someone in finance to be able to have that admin access. And then that resolution can be updated as needed if there's additional hires or others that are hired within the finance department that are better fits for that administrative access down the line. So a little bit outside of my wheelhouse on that administrative account piece, but those are sort of the three pots: the umbrella tribal government resolution for changing signatories, the 6 enterprise resolutions for changing signatories, and then finally that administrative access resolution for the tribal government bank accounts.
These are to make sure that there's a smooth transition between the next council.
Right.
Ask for a motion to approve resolutions 2, 2027, 3, 2027, 4, 2027, 5, 2027, 6, 2027, 7, 2027, 8, 2027, and 13, 2027.
Move.
Moved by Tara. Do I have a second? Second by Shane. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Any silent? Motion carried. Next up, we have Rhiannon Strong with his executive report. Hey, I'm just kidding.
I'm Neil Clark.
Ask for a motion to adjourn.
Just as clarification too, I'm just filling in for Miranda Lilia for today, Thursday, and potentially next Monday. So that's why I'm sitting up here today.
And thank you.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn by Janelle. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Shane. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. Meeting adjourned at 10:22 a.m. Executive session will resume at 11 a.m. Upstairs. Oh, and thank you all for joining us today. Don't forget this Saturday to celebrate and have a happy Indigenous Resiliency Day. Miigwech, stay safe.